Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Samp&Chance Wrestling, the only wrestling show in the world that delivers unbiased truth, the real facts, and a little sugarcoating here and there when we need it to be. Mr. Chance Michaels, happy Tuesday, brother. How are you?
Doing good yourself?
I can't complain, man. It's a beautiful day,
It
well
is.
rested, contrary to what we were just talking about off on
Yeah.
here. But feel great, man. It's beautiful. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. I'm excited. I'm excited. All right, brother, man. Let's get right into it. Monday Night Raw. This was the episode I was more interested in than the one that we saw last week, which was great
Yeah.
because this is the real Raw now. This is what
Yeah.
we're going to get week to week. I'll tell you what, man. The one thing I did notice right off the bat, the production looks amazing. Like, I mean, they WWE has always had good production, but it just looks like they've enhanced it a bit more with the help of
That's the net.
Netflix.
I just wanted to say that exactly right. Thanks for bringing up the word Netflix. I've been waiting to talk about that. Netflix is known for what? The term binge watching shows, right?
Yeah.
And who does better episodic TV shows than Netflix?
Well,
And
I
so they
mean,
know
right
how to
now it's
make you
them.
like they know how to make you watch a show. You watch the next one episode, you want to watch the next one, the next one.
Yeah,
So you can see that with WWE. You could just tell the production. It's always been great, but it's a smidge better now.
yeah.
And that's a Netflix partnership. They're geniuses, those guys that
No,
work at
they are. And
Netflix.
what I
Yeah.
really liked was that one angle during the Finn Balor and Damian Priest street fight, when he dropped him, when he took him from the top of the stands and dropped him into the tables, that camera angle was so hot, man. I
Yeah.
loved it.
Oh
Like
yeah.
just the way they captured that. I don't know if that was, I'm sure it was intentional, but they got it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It was a one take opportunity and they pulled it off beautifully.
Yeah.
Really good. 2.5 hours. I was expecting the three, but you know what? I like it. Here's my question to you. How do you like having Raw with no commercials, having those extra pieces in there with the interview segments and actually seeing what happens in the ring when you're at commercial?
It's something different. We're not used to that, right? I don't mind it. I don't know if people
Unless you're
get
there
tired of it
live.
after a while.
Yeah, unless you're there live, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of times when you're there live, I mean, you've been to Raws, I've been to Raws. Televised programs like that, pay-per-views are different. But with those shows at the commercials, the talent will stand in the ring, whatever, just kind of, they'll bring the lights down. But now they're cutting promos and this and that.
Yeah.
So it was kind of cool. I like it. And I also noticed that the tightness between the production, like the cutaways and everything, they've
Mm-hmm.
gotten better from last week already.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, Netflix with them together is going to be a good partnership production wise. They just both of them are so good at what they do. So it's a match made in heaven production wise for sure.
$1 million question for you. Did you enjoy the show last night?
It wasn't bad. The only thing I didn't like the start of it. We got Punk and all them in the ring for 20 minutes to find out they're all entering the Royal Rumble. Like I thought they could have cut that a little bit shorter. And to me, if you're going to do an in-ring segment, you got to be some action. Somebody slaps somebody, somebody hits somebody. That's what I didn't like. I like those guys, all of them, but I thought they could have been a little more. And one thing about Seth, stop screaming every word into the mic. There's
Yeah.
times when you raise your voice, and there's times when you don't. But he's always screaming and yelling all the time. So I think you need to tone it down a little bit.
Not fair play, man. I appreciate that completely. And yeah, it's a little different though, but it's almost like when you watch the segments where they do the contract signing, you expect them to break the table to beat someone
Yeah.
up, right? So it's kind of cool, maybe a little bit just from that perspective to see it where wait, that's not happening.
Mm.
It's still different, right? So
I don't know if you caught Michael Cole had a huge flub there.
what do
And
you
so during the Penta and Chad Gable match,
yeah,
this is the thing. The little details not having Vince there. Usually Vince is in your ear and you got to watch what you say. But now he's got more free reign and he made a huge flub. So before they cut to commercial, Michael Cole says, Adam Pierce found the best luchador he could find in the world. Dude, Rey Mysterio is in your company. So after the commercial break, I guess Triple H or Pritchard got in his ear and said, you can't say that. Then he corrected himself and brought up Ray because that was a
wasn't
huge
that
flub. And that's just Michael Cole.
that
It's
was
like a
one.
dog. You walk a dog for 20 years, you let the dog off the leash. What's a
Yeah,
dog? And he's going to run crazy.
yeah,
And
no, there
Cole
was
should know
another
better than
one
that.
where McAfee said something that didn't make any sense, and then Cole had to correct him.
Mm-hmm.
There was some I can't remember right now, but anyways, that was that.
Well, whoever caught that, Pritchard or Triple H, I was thinking the same thing. They're going to correct him, and they corrected him. And then he
Yeah,
said he corrected himself because you can't say that when you got Rey Mysterio, the
no,
greatest luchador ever there, and
yeah.
still in your company, right? So
Well, I mean, current. I mean, look, Ray's past his prime,
yeah, of course, yeah, he's
so
50.
you got to look at who the new luchadors. I understand what Cole was saying. I'm not defending
Mm-hmm.
him. I'm not saying you're
Yeah,
wrong either. But with Ray, what's he got left? A few,
he's got a few big matches in the
right?
tank.
Like, I
Yeah.
mean, he's more of a figurehead now than he is anything else per
Mm-hmm.
se. Like, even him showing up and talking about Penta and commercial break segment, right?
Yeah.
People who in the States wouldn't have seen it. But yeah, no, I can understand what Cole was saying. Like he currently might be the best luchador.
Hmm.
Again, this is the thing. You got to be like the real wrestling fan to know who this guy was,
Yeah.
right? He came from Lucha Underground. He was in AAA in Mexico, and most recently he was former tag team champion with his brother Ray Phoenix in AEW.
Yeah.
Um, and Ray's on his way here too. They didn't release him because Coney Khan realized he can't let him go as well.
Hmm.
So he made him add time to his contract because he was injured. So his brother is going to be here pretty soon too, Ray Phoenix, right?
Yeah.
But Penta looked good, man. I liked him. It was
He's
good.
a colorful character. I think it was smart booking for them to put him with Chad Gable because that Chad can go right, and he
Yeah,
can do all the kind of moves you want to do with Chad because he's small, he's light,
yeah,
and he
yeah,
can flop around and stuff.
yeah.
It was a good match. The Destroyer move, the crowd went crazy. I mean, Penta's he's amazing. He's a super good talent. He's quite the character.
No, he's fun, man. He's fun. I mean, I remember. I mean, I didn't watch much Lucha Underground. I don't know if you ever really caught
No,
much of that.
not
I mean,
really.
it was more. You want to talk about a real scripted show with fighting? That was what Lucha Underground was, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it was fun. It was okay. It was different. But I caught a few episodes here and there.
Let's see what they do with Penta because they had guys like Kalisto and stuff, and they fizzed out real fast. So hopefully with Penta,
But if you
he gets a
look,
little more steam.
if you look at most of the luchadors that they've had in there, like the mask wearing luchadors,
Yeah.
right? Like Andrade is a big guy, but he doesn't really wear the mask, right? I
Mm-hmm.
mean, this guy's big. He's got size. He's got everything.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll see something different here, right? You look at
Possibly.
Kalisto. You look at a lot of these other luchadors that they have. They fit comfortably under my armpit.
Yeah, and they
You know,
all pale in comparison to Ray too. That's such a he's part of the company. So when you watch these guys, you know Ray's still there. It's like these guys are like poor man Ray Mysterios. You know what I mean? They don't quite cut
well,
it.
you know what, man? At one time, I mean, people would consider Rey Mysterio a poor man's Rey Mysterio
Yeah.
until you have to earn it, right? Here's a question I have for you, man. Brock Lesnar. Now that Vince is all cleared up, do you think Brock has a way path?
I don't know if Brock wants to come back. I don't know if he wants to deal with the new regime because remember when Vince stepped down, he walked out of the building there or whatever. That convinced him to come back. So I don't know if he wants to come back. I mean, if he wants to, why wouldn't you take him? Maybe he loves money. He doesn't deny it. Yeah, so lots of money, throw lots of money at him, and I mean,
But
probably the great,
with it,
probably
it
the greatest
makes
athlete ever to step in a WWE
dude,
ring. So why wouldn't you want him?
it makes complete sense because I mean he's
Especially
a
them
star.
being on Raw, right?
Well, he's a
Netflix on Raw.
star. He's a star on both their platforms. When I say platforms, UFC and WWE.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right? So I mean, he's a massive star on both ways. You can really utilize him. And I mean, if money's the question, I don't think money's an issue when it
Money's not
comes
an
to
issue.
him.
I wonder if he still wants it. I'm sure he's gonna. I'm sure we haven't seen the last of him. When we see him again, I don't know, but I think he's gonna get
Look,
a proper send off.
dude has a lot of money. He lives in rural Saskatchewan,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's not like he's spending hand over fist,
Yeah,
right? So I don't think money's an issue, but I don't see any endorsements. I don't see anything surrounding him. So at some point, he's probably going to need to replenish that silo of cash.
yeah. I think we'll see him again. When I don't know, but he's just too good of a talent not to have
Well,
that.
dude, we got the Rumble coming up, right? So, I mean, who knows? As anything's possible right now. And like I said, with what we've seen and where we're going with everything here, sky's the limit, man. I mean, I don't put
But we
anything
got Goldberg
past
coming
anyone.
back on what? He's back on the 27th.
Who's that?
When's Goldberg coming back? January 27th.
I believe so. He's going
Oh,
to
there
make
you
his
go. Right.
appearance
So I
and get
mean,
that
I'm
going.
glad he's coming back. He deserves a final match, right?
He does, but it's kind of late. This will probably have to happen if he's coming back on the 27th, and this has to be for Elimination Chamber. I mean, there's
Why
no
rush
way.
him though? Why not just have him come out and put him on Raw and SmackDown? Don't rush his last match. Why not give him to it at Mania? He can have like the second or third match on the card just to get some extra eyeballs on it.
Yeah,
He's
but
a big star.
if that's the case, that's Gunther though. That's the only one they're aligning him with. His final match is with Gunther.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they want to do it that way, but yeah, I don't know what they're going to do with them.
Right. And with the picture the way it is, I mean, you talk about it, it looks pretty discombobulated from this perspective without not knowing really what they're thinking. Because I mean, a lot of what they wanted to do at Mania, they did on that first night of Raw.
I know.
Right. So now you basically are looking at, okay, what's going on here? Like early prediction, I think Seth is going to win the Royal Rumble.
Might.
I just have a feeling it's going to be something because Punk keeps talking about, I never won the Rumble yet. That's the one thing he hasn't done.
Yeah.
I mean, what better way to have him eliminated again as the runner up? I mean, think about it. He was the second to last man against Cody.
Yeah.
Cody eliminated him. I mean, do it with Seth and then have it where it almost becomes a triple threat match at Mania with whatever they decide, right?
Yeah, he could be definitely one of the five that's gonna could win it potentially.
Well, because realistically, right now, I mean, outside, think about it. I mean, unless The Rock is just playing everybody, which I
No,
think
he's
he
not. He's
is.
done.
No, no, but I'm just saying, like, if he's not going to be there, then tell them now, is what I'm saying. Right? Why prolong it? Why prolong it if you're just going to be that guy? You're messing everything up. That's again, this is just from an outside perspective. I don't really know what they're planning. Maybe they're pulling the wool all over our they're pulling the wool over our eyes.
I
So
think it's going to be Reigns or Cena that will win it, but you just don't know how they're going to. Depends who they want to put in the main event at WrestleMania, right?
I think we're gonna see Cena probably win it at SummerSlam.
Could be,
It
could
makes
be
more sense. It's kind of right there in the middle. You can put it on him on SummerSlam. He can lose it by Survivor Series, and you can carry on with your
because
programs
a
from
lot
there.
of people are saying, even the hardcore marks are saying Gunther and Cody have been lackluster champions. So maybe it's time to get the belt off these guys. I mean, Gunther I thought was better as Intercontinental champion.
Well,
Maybe because he's chasing, maybe he's better in that role. But I like
mm,
Gunther, but I just think
no,
he's as
I
great
like
as a
Gunther
champ.
too, but what have they given him though?
They're giving him nothing. That's why I don't understand why they're not giving him something.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like I said to you last week as well, man. He should have been on that episode.
That's crazy that he wasn't.
He's your champion, right? Like I get it. You want to bring The Rock on, you want to bring Cena on, you want to do the tribal match, blah blah blah,
You can
this and
squeeze
that.
him in somewhere though.
But he's your champion. If this is the program you want people to be interested in, you should introduce the champion in a proper way, not just like a cutaway segment.
Yeah.
Right? That's just my thinking. I don't know. It makes more sense that it didn't
I
make
don't
it.
think the belts mean much anymore like they used to. Not to the new regime. They don't seem to be. It
Well,
seems
I
to be
don't,
more focused on the bloodline stuff and Seth and Punk and. But where's Cody? Where's Gunther? Your
well, I
two
mean, they got their
guys,
big
right?
match coming up at I mean, they're promoting the Saturday night's main event now as well, right? So
Mm-hmm.
a
And I
lot of
watched
stuff is
Raw wasn't bad. Raw was a decent show, but I watched SmackDown on Friday and I thought it was god awful. I had a hard time getting through it, man. It's just I don't know. Maybe it's the off night, but just I didn't feel the vibe of SmackDown. And
so
why do they keep letting Austin Theory get pinned all the time? Like, dude, he's one of your best looking guys, in shape, young, and you just keep letting him get pinned all the time by old, like by Motor City. Like these are guys in their 40s.
yeah, well, I
It was a
mean,
good match, but like,
no,
just
you know
that
what?
was something, man.
When it turns on, when the flick switches for that kid, we'll forget about all this. I don't think it's done for him. It's
Oh
just
no, no, it's not that. What's this new regime? Like I said, new regime takes over. Some people like more talent than others, right? And this is their way of saying, "Hey, you're Vince's guy. We're going to stomp you down a little." Bobby Lashley, you're Vince's guy. We're going to stomp you down a little bit. We got our own guys, but they got to start building some younger stars because all the guys we talk about are in their 40s and late 30s. We got to get the young guys up.
yeah.
I always
Well,
say that.
let's see. Let's see. I mean, 2025 is young, new direction. Let's see where they go into here. I want to change gears here to AEW. This
Mm-hmm.
is something I've been thinking about. Why are they pushing Ricochet so hard when you got Bobby Lashley that's doing nothing? Like
Well,
literally, he wasn't on any of their pay-per-views in the last month. He hasn't been on Dynamite. I didn't see him on Dynamite
yeah,
last.
he was on Dynamite. He kicked the crap out of Mark Briscoe,
Oh, sorry, my bad. I
tossed,
missed that one.
tossed him like a rag doll. Finally, but it's like you're beating up
Okay,
Mark Briscoe. I mean, come on.
but you keep putting Ricochet in these main event spots. I don't get it.
Yeah,
Like
I
you're
don't
pushing
know.
the wrong guy.
I think they're trying to run the Ricochet heel thing, try something different. But I don't have a problem with them doing the Ricochet heel because he's actually better as a heel as he is a face. But you got to give Lashley something. So I'm glad he was on Dynamite. He did beat up Mark Briscoe.
No, no, I get it. But he's the kind of guy that should be in the title picture right away. He doesn't.
Absolutely.
What I'm
Look at
saying,
the guy.
the dude doesn't need to work his way up the roster to build a name. That's
No,
all I'm saying. He's that kind of character that comes into your promotion and he's automatically inserted in the world title picture.
he dresses like a champion. He is a former champion. He looks like a champion.
Like
He's a
what?
freak of
Why are we
nature.
getting the same four guys going after the Death Riders?
I don't know.
Why?
I don't know why he's not using Bobby Lashley. He's your biggest free agent you've gotten in a long time,
They're
so you
not,
put him right to the top.
and they're not using MJF in any good way either right now either. So your biggest name, the guy that probably kept your company going. You're not even really doing anything with him now. I mean, he looks like a mid Carter to me. He feels like it.
Right now he is. Yeah, I know they got Omega back and they're pumping up him, and he gave a decent promo there on Dynamite there, and there was a good match between Buddy Matthews and Osprey, but they try to make you believe that there's real heat there, but I didn't even know they had a history together. Like it's just like they just threw the match together. Just say that we're throwing this match together because these guys are amazing athletes, and
So
they try to kind of fool you.
a lot of their heat in history comes from smaller promotions,
Yeah, that
right?
nobody knows, right?
But that's the thing; they need to build that up better, and I'm hoping they do, right?
Tony Khan has to
Um,
understand one thing: not everybody, well, most people don't watch any indie stuff, so we have no idea what you're talking about. So give us the background on it at least.
it's kind of
Put us up to speed at least.
it's kind of like having a local talent from Vancouver
Mm-hmm.
join AEW and get into a feud with Kyle O'Reilly.
Yeah,
And for no rhyme or reason, these guys are in a program now. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like, where did this other guy
Well,
come from? We don't know anything about him. But they have mad history together on the West Coast. Well,
yeah, no,
let's see.
exactly. Well, speaking of local talent, we'll bring that up. They had that All Star Wrestling show there, and the reason I bring this up is that two former WWE guys came out. Tommy Dreamer was there, and Jinder Mahal, now going by Raj Desi, his real name. My buddy went there. I didn't go, but they drew 500 people there, which is double the audience they usually get.
Hmm.
And then Jinder and Tommy were doing meet and greets for $50, and there was some kids there and stuff. And they said Jinder went hard and worked hard, and Tommy worked hard. It was a good show, but so they drew 500 people. I mean, so just had to bring that up because there was a lot of Thunder. Jinder pumped it up quite a bit in social media. But even those two guys together are only getting an extra couple hundred people in there, right? So, and you put out a lot of money to bring these guys in. So,
Well, I'll tell you what, man. I'm on social media. You are. I didn't see any posts pumping it up or promoting it.
Jinder was.
No, maybe Jinder was, but the company wasn't.
They did a little bit.
Not enough, though.
Not as I don't think they should do enough, but they did enough to pump it. But 500 people is what you're going to expect. That building doesn't hold much more than that, anyways, right? So they call it a sellout, which probably was. It's a small building, the Maritime Center. You've been there.
No, it's nice, man. I mean, that place, I tell you what, it's a good building. If it fills up, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And it probably was a full house. I mean, that place
there was a full house.
so many
no,
people.
Sure. Yeah.
And that 500 feels like 1,200.
Yeah, when you're jam packed like that, right?
Right? It feels good.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, congratulations to them. I mean, they're doing a good job out there. So, I mean, respect to them. Bringing in some talent that most people may not get a chance to see.
Well, yeah, it's a good idea. I mean, otherwise you get people that wouldn't go to the show to come to the show, and then maybe they'll come back next time. Out of the 250 extra that came, maybe 70 come back next time. Well, it's worth a shot.
That's how it works, right? That's how it works.
Mm-hmm.
All right, brother, man. I tell you what. Oh, one more thing, Corey Graves. I really wanted to touch on it. I think tonight people should tune into NXT. It should be interesting. I don't know if this is a story because if he's shooting off the hip, he's probably going to cost himself a job. I don't know if you heard about it or not, but
I know he's not happy. I mean, you can't really blame the guy, but at the same time, I totally agree with this decision. I've been saying this for the last year. I never thought he was great on the mic. So maybe they want him to go down to NXT, hone your skills. Maybe they need to come up the big leagues, but Wade Barrett is a better commentator than Corey Graves. He's got the unique voice. Right?
Here's what he said. Okay, and I'm paraphrasing. I'm not quoting verbatim. He basically said that you basically are told that you can't compete anymore because of an injury.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you go into the next best thing that you can do and you do the best you possibly can and you do a killer job. Think about it, man. This guy was the go-to guy when no one else was around, right?
Mm-hmm.
SmackDown, Raw, pay-per-views. You needed someone, Corey Graves would come, right? And now he said that then you're told that you're not famous enough to be on Raw or SmackDown anymore.
I totally agree with that. He isn't.
But he's better than McAfee.
I don't like McAfee at all.
No, but he's better than McAfee.
He's better than McAfee. I agree with you on that.
Right?
He's not better than Wade Barrett.
No, maybe not. And I'm not going to disagree with you. When you
listen to Wade, like the more I listen to him, the more I like him.
Yeah.
But that voice just stands out, right? It's like
Corey
Graves. He knows his stuff, but his voice is just it's not unique.
Yeah.
Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett, they have some unique voices.
For sure.
He can't match that.
For sure, but I feel bad.
I bet he's Vincent Vinnie Mac now. Crap, if Vince is still here, well, he ain't here no more, bud.
Well, I feel bad for the guy because you put all that work in, you do everything they tell you to do, only to be told that. And I don't know if they said that to him. That's what he wrote on his post. But I mean, if you even go back, like I said, I watched NXT last week, and you look at the guy, he just looks broken, man. He's like,
he's defeated,
right? Like, why? Everything I've done.
It's like playing for the Vancouver Canucks for 5-6 years. Next thing you know, you're going on the Abbey Canucks and you're not flying them where you're riding the bus.
Exactly.
He's made a lot of money, so I don't feel too bad for the guy. But at the end of the day,
but I mean, at the end of the day, this is his career too, right?
there's a lot of pressure from, it's not just Triple H guys, a lot of pressure from the TKO guys. We got to put the best out
Yeah,
there. We got a lot of money here. And if you're
yeah.
not up to snuff, then you go, it sucks. But I totally agree with this decision. I've been saying this for the last year. I would have bumped them off way sooner. So they got more patience than I do. And he
Yeah.
is better than McAfee. I think McAfee, I like his energy, but it's just, yeah, too over the top sometimes.
And when he tries to engage Cole into that kind of shit, it just looks fucking campy.
Oh, it's terrible. But they're not a good combination, dude.
All right, brother man. Anything on your mind?
No, I mean Raw was decent. I thought SmackDown. I didn't enjoy SmackDown. I thought it was something was missing there. They got to do a better job on SmackDown. I don't know what something's missing there. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe all the eggs are in the Raw basket right now, but
Well, I think all the
SmackDown
eggs
is
are
on
in the
Netflix
Raw
too.
basket. I think coming off of Raw and how excited we were, I think, and I think you'll agree with me here, man. I think you got to trim that hour off. You don't need that hour,
No, SmackDown's too long. 3 hours is too
right?
long,
And I think that hour's only there is to pacify USA Network,
pretty much.
right? Like if you watch NXT and well, I guess if you're in Canada and you don't have a streaming service or anything like that into the States, you'd have to watch it on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
SmackDown as well. If you don't get the US channels,
Yes, on
you would
Netflix.
have to watch it on Netflix. So in Netflix, they don't do the cutaways. It actually goes blank
Yeah, and it says we will be right back or whatever.
and the
There.
screensavers and everything. So maybe that could have put a hindrance on it a bit because you're just sitting there in the dark waiting.
Mm.
Right? At least commercials, they're there. There's sound. There's just something happening that kind of keep you engaged a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe that could have been it a little bit as well.
And
Fortunately,
where's Randy Orton? Is he hurt? Where is this guy?
he's hurt
He's hurt again. Okay. Well, he's getting
and
older, so
he's getting older, but I think they're probably saving him for Royal Rumble, right?
yeah.
And here's something else I really wanted to pick up on. These are the little details that I think a lot of younger talent can pick up on. Bailey last night showed why she is a real good veteran now. I don't know
Thank you.
if you
I got to bring up the Bailey. You go first, but I got to bring up this Bailey promo when you're finished.
okay. So I know she's a SmackDown talent, blah, 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 this and that. The window, that transfer window is open, as they call it now, right? So when she came in and helped Rhea, as she was helping her and everything, and this and that, watch her eyes. Her eyes were just focused on the belt, not her
Mm-hmm.
per se. So it's just, I love those little details.
Mm-hmm. The only thing I didn't like about what Bailey did last night, I don't know if you heard what she said in the mic, and I know nobody wrote this promo for her because I know nobody backstage would write something so kiddish. She said, "You big dumb idiot." Is that the best you can come up with, Bailey? And this is why, Vinnie Mac, not for guys like Rock and Stone Cold and Hogan, they know how to talk, but for people like that, that's why they'd write their scripts and have control, because you see stuff like this with Bailey that was totally amateur, and you see the stuff with Michael Cole without Vinnie back there. This is the stuff that happens. You let the inmates run the asylum, you get a sloppy product sometimes, and that was horrible. Her to come up with something more better than that.
Maybe she wanted to say, "You big dumb bitch," but she caught herself because maybe she can't say it on the air. Because what they did last week, okay, so everything, because Rock came out, "You son of a bitch, this is bullshit."
Mm-hmm.
He was swearing like nobody's business, right?
Yeah.
If you go back and watch that episode now, they edited it out. Like they
cut it out.
it out. You know what I mean? So maybe that's why. I bet you anything she wanted to say bitch, but she had to catch herself.
Maybe, but somebody, she needs to go over that promo backstage, or somebody needs to vet that promo for, because
for
that
sure,
was lazy.
Sure. All right, brother man. I tell you what, I think we covered everything that we need to cover here. Bobby Lashley, Tony Khan, please give him the proper push that he deserves.
Absolutely.
Make me want to watch your show. I am standing outside your door wanting to watch your program, but you're making it hard for me.
The problem is Tony Khan is just such a super fan. He's such a super mark. He needs to step back and look at the big picture a little bit.
Yeah, 100%. All right, brother man. That's a wrap. Let's call it a day. Let's see what happens in the world of wrestling. I implore you to watch NXT if you can. Check it out.
I will, so I can hear Corey Graves and hear what hopefully they work an angle with this, right?
Well, I mean, I think they're going to work an angle, because honestly, there's one guy, and I love him. I loved him as a wrestler, but I hate him as a commentator.
Booker T.
Oh God, I hate it. Like, he's okay, but when he starts elongating his words, it just gets too much. I don't even want to do the impression because I do it too well, but it just there's points when he's talking, I just stop talking. And
Mhm.
with Corey there, you can almost see that he's annoyed by it. Like you can just hear it in his voice. Like imagine hearing it on TV, but then imagine having to hear it in your headset.
I know, I know. Booker T is a lot, dude. Sometimes he's a lot. Yeah, he's a great wrestler, Hall of Famer, legend, but I don't think the
Vic,
commentating
I
is for
think
him.
Vic Joseph and Corey Graves would be a great two-man booth there, man. You don't need Booker T. Let him go back to reality of wrestling, put him in another position. Booker T on the mic is horrible for NXT.
Totally agree. I couldn't. Yeah, 1,000% agree with you on that.
Right? I don't want to be that guy. I
Put him
try to,
backstage as an agent, or he can help. He can help plan the matches or something back there.
bro.
You know,
Like I said, I mean, I try to look at everything from a positive angle, but he's not giving me anything, man. And I've been saying this for a while. Like, it's just like, I love you, Booker, but please stop talking.
I didn't know this, but I guess Abyss produces a lot of the matches on Raw. He produced the Punk versus Drew or Punk versus Rollins match last Raw. There, he produced the whole thing with them. So
Yeah, no, Abyss is good, man. I mean, he's got a good mind.
he's got to bring out some aggression. These guys are going to fight. They got to hate. We got to make us believe we really hate each other. Maybe they
Yeah,
don't really hate each other. They say they do, but I don't know. Didn't seem
yeah,
like it in the match.
yeah. So for those who don't know, Abyss was basically the mankind slash Undertaker of TNA back in the day,
Mm-hmm.
basically, right?
Yeah, pretty much. That's a good way to
That's
describe it.
what he
Big dude.
was. That's what he was, man. All right, brother, man. Let's wrap this puppy up. It is midweek. We have the whole week to live and get through and succeed. So I'm Bobby Sampson. He's Mr. Chance Michaels.
And the words of the great ACDC, those that like, subscribe, and download to the show, we salute you.
We do salute you. And I say this time and time again, but I can't say it enough. Ladies and gentlemen, anything you want to achieve in this world is right at your fingertips. You just got to put the work in. And if you're waiting for God or whatever God that you believe in to give it to you, it's not going to happen. It doesn't matter what religion you believe in, it doesn't matter what path that you're on. That God is the same, and the belief is the same. He'll reward you when he sees you working hard.
Absolutely. Yep.
Right? So keep that in mind. You have to work hard for what you want, and you will be rewarded in time. Patience is the name of the game. It's all about patience, hard work, and dedication.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking at it right here. We could have given up a long time ago. This is episode 270, ladies and gentlemen. We haven't stopped yet, and we're not going to stop.
Nope.
Samp and Chance,
Before you
we're
know, we'll
out.
be on 300, man. It's coming.
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, we will hit 300 this year. Samp and Chance, have a great week. We love you. Check you later.